Afternoon. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Ian, Kenlias, Outro. Let's get them likes up. Afternoon, David, JC, Fletch, Danny, Mumo. Smash the likes, everybody. Afternoon, Virginia, Gregors. Smash the like button. Hit it. Thumbs up. If I keep saying it, everyone does it. Afternoon, Yusuf, Amy, Brian. How are we all doing? Right. So this morning, thank you, Gregors. So this morning, got hedged on the DAX, banked 1.2% on the FTSE. So we had a nice clean break on the FTSE. TP1 hit, TP2 didn't get there because it was all the way up here somewhere, but out on the pullback. So basically I had quite a tight stop on, because we kind of filled the gap on the DAX, and I was expecting the DAX to have a little bit of a pullback, which I thought might push this back, and it did. Could have got out of the DAX as well, but I decided not to because it was rallying really hard. So I thought this might just sort of carry on flying, but it hasn't. So I'm still in the DAX, 136 in a hedge. I've banked 240 there. So I'm going to close the DAX and call that a day. And basically just take the profit between the two. Because I can. Close that out. So yeah, out flat on that one. So yeah, couldn't really do anything with the DAX this morning. The DAX was just awful. It just literally just sat around for the first 2 hours. So it was over 2 hours basically before we actually started to move. So it was almost as if they were waiting for Jordan to speak. But anyway, so that's DAX done, FTSE done, nets 0.5%. We had obviously the unemployment rate for the Australian dollar this morning, which came out as expected. Unemployment claims for the US were down very slightly, not a lot. It was like 20k. Building permits are up. We got Lagarde speaking at 3:15. We had Jordan speaking this morning. So if we look at financial juice this morning, going all the way back, there's absolutely nothing that I could see from Jordan. So I don't know whether it just didn't show up or what happened, or there was absolutely nothing said, but there is nothing in the news feed. So yeah, nothing happened. ECB accounts, when asked the interest rates embedded in the staff projections, which lay out above market interest rates, projections suggested a rate path was in line with reaching the inflation target in the second half of 2025. Falling inflation was encouraging. Convincing evidence of sustained turnaround. Members are more confident of achieving 2% in 2025. Caution is warranted as inflation would probably pick up in the near term. So that's that bounce we were talking about. Just confirming that. Market price repricing could derail this inflation process. Yeah, nothing particularly exciting there. There's the jobless claims. So yeah, that was it really. Bit of waffle out of euro. If you look at the euro pairs, not really done an awful lot. A little bit of a down day on the euro so far, but nothing dramatic up against the Swissy. So yeah, meh. The only thing that's really had a good move today has been the Aussie dollar Swiss. So the Australian dollar's had a little bit of a rally. I say a little bit, very slight rally this morning. It's rallied against the Aussie dollar Swiss. If you look at all the other Swiss pairs, you can see the Swiss franc has declined dramatically. So everything's rallied against the Swiss franc. The Aussies had a little bit more strength because of the news this morning, so pushed up. So Aussie Swiss is a 150 ADR. So that'd be a good short opportunity. which I will be getting into when we get the next reversal alert, which... hell? Whoa. When we get the next reversal alert. That terminal's gone nuts. Anyway, Aussie dollar Swiss. So yeah, next 5-minute reversal alert, which will be there. I will be shorting. Aussie dollar New Zealand is also an ADR hit. So yeah, we've had the ADR hit on this one. No reversal alert yet. So that'll be your entry there. Bit of a spike there. What was that spike? I didn't notice that. We've had a big spike on the Aussie dollar. A lot of volatility suddenly came in. When was that? 330, 130. So that spike was released on the unemployment figures. I don't know what that was. And New Zealand dollar yen is your only other ADR today. So that's an ADR hit to the downside. And that is off of the news as well. So not really an entry. So there's not really any ADRs to look at. Aussie dollar Swiss is the only decent one today. Look at the spread on this thing. It's massive. Right. Oh, crikey. Quick. I haven't got my terminal open. Quick. Launch. Just watching the clock. If I haven't got this open by 3:30, it's going to miss the trades. Come on. Open the ding terminal. Thank you. Load the EA. Thank you. That was close. 8 seconds to go. Not with it this morning. Yeah, so that was correct. That was close. Almost didn't get into any positions then. Ranges are fine, all three. Short on the Dow. Nice volatile open on the Dow. NASDAQ's a bit violent as well. So NASDAQ's gone long. S&P undecided. Quick, wasn't it? Afternoon, Evans, Evil, Brian, Hulk, Smash, Like. Good morning, Great Phil, Novelty. Nas steaming towards all-time highs. Yeah, big move on this NASDAQ today. So we're not quite at ADR yet. We're very close, but we've batted straight into this resistance. So we hit that, rejected it. So this immediately, this is, I keep going on about this over and over again, and I will keep going on about it because it's what happens. But limit orders triggered at the highs. Yeah. So this is this, and this is where we batted into, and they said, nope, we don't want stocks above that level. We batted it again. Limit orders triggered. Yeah. This time, though, it looks like the sellers might get run over. And if they do, we shall be off above ADR today. So we'll see where we go, but we are up at highs on the NASDAQ. So market trying very, very hard to get through there. Again, look, hitting limit orders. We're hitting a brick wall here. There's lots of orders. Every one that comes in, they go, yep, we'll have that, we'll have that, we'll have that, we'll have that, we'll have that. And eventually everyone that's buying it goes, screw this, I'll go short as well. And then it rejects. So we'll see if we can get through there. We're going to need a hell of a lot of buyers to get through that level today. Dow certainly has broken short. S&P undecided at the moment. So that's all your ADRs today. There's only those three. Aussie dollar Swiss being the better of the lot. That is 150 ADR. So waiting for a reverse alert to get in short on that one this morning. Your RSIs, not a lot to look at. Euro Swiss, again, Swiss franc related. Euro Swiss, I took one on that short yesterday on the H1M5 mean reversion. We've had a push up and a bit of volatility came in during the London Open, but not really gone anywhere so much today. Rejecting the highs quite nicely, so hopefully that comes back down. But that's your only RSI extension on the hourly, and it's just above the 70. All the other RSI extensions we've had this week have all kind of flattened out. And either they've come down or we are kind of accumulating. Most of them are accumulating at the moment, I have to say. Right, NASDAQ stalled. So if you look at this on the hourly, So that was the high that we hit on the 11th of January. We retested it, rejected it, retested it, rejected it. Came back up the next day, rejected it. Next day, didn't get close. Next day, rejected it. Today, rejected it. We are having another run. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th knock on the door. We get through, we're going to fall through when those hinges go, and we're just off. So see if they can get through there today. If they can, I think we've got a decent pop up to sort of 125, 150 ADR. Plenty of room to the upside. We've got a monthly high coming up as well, which is 125 ADR. So we'll find more resistance there. So that'll be your next batch of limit orders that will try and push price back down as we did here. But difficult to know which way we're going in it. US dollar at the moment. Not doing anything sideways. So there's no strength, no weakness in the US at the minute. Starting to come down, which might indicate a little bit of strength coming in, but nothing to give us any real clues. So we'll watch this now to see if we can get through that level. So we have just taken out the high of the day, but as you can see, they sold the crap out of it again. So it does look like we want to go long, though. This is really trying very hard to get through this level. A nice little pop if we get it. Dow's rejected the lows as well. So we've got buyers on the Dow. S&P have just triggered long on the spread. Didn't actually get to the order, just spread triggered in, unfortunately. So a lot of volume coming in today, but we haven't gone anywhere, have we? Look at that, big rejection on the Dow. So Dow's just basically spiked straight down to 1R, straight back up again. Looks like we're going long. So if we are going to go long, hopefully that's going to be profit, that's going to be profit, that's going to hedge. So one of these will pay for that. That'll become the profit for the day. If we can get a break. Sec. So just adjusting stuff. Okay, Dow trying shorts again. Really not getting through here, are we? You can see almost every order push. It's just literally every little push is just pushed back, pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. There's an iceberg order sitting here. Some bank or institution is just sitting here going, yeah, just bring it. Every buy order you got, I'll have it. They're selling the lot. There's just not enough volume to beat this guy, whoever it is, at the moment. Please don't triple hedge me again. I have to say, though, every triple hedge I've had so far this month, bar one, I've got out of every single one. So strategy is working incredibly well. Come on, someone just dump 100 million Netflix or something. Just buy it. Get us through that level. If we can get through there, we are pretty much guaranteed a run today. Doesn't look like there's enough volume, though. No, it's rejected. Okay, so looks like it's going to be 2 hedges on these two, and that will be a clean break if we can get out of this low. Again, we're buying this low up from yesterday. So we've tapped into basically yesterday's low, and they've bought yesterday's low back up again. So stuck. All stuck, aren't we? While we're waiting for them to unstick, we'll come back to those in a minute. We'll have a look at the RSIs. So RSI 70.30 Euro Swiss, that's the only one we've got at the moment to look at. That has been an extension from yesterday, which I got into short. I'm looking for an optimistic target on this euro. I was hoping Lagarde was going to drive the market down today, but she didn't. So pushing down. Sorry, actually, she hasn't spoken yet, has she? That was the Swissy I was talking about. Yeah. So we got Lagarde speaking in half an hour-ish. So hoping potentially she might undo the rally from yesterday that she created. So going with a little bit of an optimistic target down there to start off with, see where we go. If we're going to push up, then obviously you'll scale into it and then target that propulsion there. But at the moment, not really going anywhere today. Euro Swiss is extended on the 4-hour as well. So the only other things we've got to look at are 4-hour RSIs. We've got a 4-hour extension here. We looked at this one this morning as we batted into it. It rejected. That was there that it rejected. It's a double top. We've just broken through. So we're sitting basically in this propulsion at the moment. But nice orderly kind of move up on this. So not a great extension. It is extended though, so we are likely to get some kind of pullback on that. Euro New Zealand is just about extended as well, so we did get a little bit higher above the 75. Lovely wick rejection on this, look. So buyers beaten back, tried again, beaten back, tried again, beaten back, tried again, beaten back. Inside bar, lower high, lower low rather. So it's less of an inside bar, more of a bearish. Can't make any more progress. This looks like this is rolling. Short opportunity Euro New Zealand. You've had the reversal already in the retest this morning, and we haven't made a new high. So there's your kind of, it hasn't actually managed to crack. So we need to crack these lows. If we can crack that zone there, we'll be off. So it looks good for shorts, Euro New Zealand. Pound odd just about extended on the 4-hour as well. First short taken on that one on H1M5 yesterday. I'm just looking for the propulsion gap fill, basically just to undo that pound move, which is, I don't really think was a move. So I don't believe them. I think that will undo. So that is extended on the 4-hour. Obviously 4-hour reversal alert's just gone in as well. So turning over. This could come an awful lot further. I'm not going to get greedy though, because I'm trading the hourly chart, not the 4-hour. Pound Swiss extended. 4-hour, that's still pushing at the moment. So got a nice little bit of divergence there on the RSI. Bearish. Very, very, very orderly of that climb though. That's like buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell news. So this could well just rally back up into this triple top or monthly high from November. So it's December and November highs. We're coming up to 225, sort of 325 sort of ADR. So that might well come back down from there. So you can drop down lower time frames, wait for a reversal alert on it. Just had an M5, M15, not quite. You did have an M15 reversal alert this morning there, which is basically where I took yesterday's trade. Pound, yen, all the yens are stuck. So I got into, if you weren't here this morning, I got into an aggressive drawdown control position yesterday on, or rather overnight, on the pound yen. So that's the entry there. So it's a little bit, it's not massively in drawdown. It's about 3% or something. 2.87 now. So that's 2.87% in drawdown at the moment. Looking at a push back down to undo that move with that position. I'll take that one off there and use the TP there, which is going to be about $350, just to do aggressive drawdown control on these. So I'm just going to, I'll take a bit off of that, a bit off of that, a bit off of that, and just basically ease the pressure on it because it's gone a little bit too far, a little bit too quick. Two big, strong multi-ADR runs basically on this yen, against the yen. So it's time for a pullback. But I'm not sure if we're going to get through that level. So I'm just looking to get out on the aggressive there, if we can get there. And then in case we bounce, I can obviously add another position back on up there. Or if it does come screaming through, that's in profit. That will come into profit and the position will just play out, won't it? So, but that's extended at the moment, still just about on the 4 hour. But you can see, you know, we've had literally flags rather than pullbacks on all these extensions. So it could continue up and retest. If it does, I'm going to stop out on that. I'm not going to let that run. But I will have another go at an aggressive up there if we get there. But that whole thing needs a big old pullback. And next Tuesday, we've got the the interest rate figure for Japan. So if they do either in the monetary report statement, because it's multiple parts, interest rates, you've got the actual rate itself coming out. You've got the monetary policy statement, and then you've got the outlook report. So this is basically how they foresee future movement on interest rates and inflation, how they're going to use interest rates to control inflation, and then the press conference where they will try and squeeze out of them what the hell they're going to be doing. So if that doesn't come out as a 0.0 tomorrow, they'll be pushing hard to find out when it's going to happen. So that next Tuesday. So if we can hold on, I don't mind if we just sit there and just do that. 3 days, fine, as long as you do that. But yeah, that's that one. Pound New Zealand extended on the 4 hour only just now. We did have an extension above the to the 80. We're just above 70 now, so nice M pattern going in there. Another position taken. This is the H1M5 mean reversion entry. So I'm looking for, again, that pound just to undo that move back to where it started, and then it can do what the hell it likes from there. US dollar Swiss is a 4 hour RSI. That's still pushing at the moment. So we got above the 80 level. Again, this US dollar really not it's not dropping at all, holding itself very well, but the Swiss franc just keeps plummeting. Don't know why. Normally we would find it would get increased when we have sort of tension with wars and things like that, but at the moment it's rallying, dropping. So everything's rallying against the Swissy. And obviously that will correct itself at some point. And so that's a nice area coming up here. Not the greatest support resistance. We kind of tapped into it and flip-flopped around it and dropped. But this whole area here basically is an area we sort of found a little bit of balance before we broke short. If this is going to continue short, that is where we would expect a short to come from, the 24.72 area. And we got this big propulsion gap here where we sold hard from, which is also another option for sellers to jump in on board and push this one back down. And US dollar yen, again, yen weak, still pushing. So, but nicely extended still. All these yens are the same. Just we're looking for a pullback. And then obviously a structure break, start to undo the move, but still weak with the yen. Right, hedged on the S&P. Still long NASDAQ. Still holding, they're still trying, aren't they? Look. So we just put a new high in. But again, bang. Not letting it through. Eventually, these guys that are hammering the crap out of this level are just going to give up. And as soon as they give up, there's no more buying pressure. There'll be nothing left but selling pressure. The guys that are buying will give up and they'll just flip short. And it will come down like a house of cards. Or the guys that are the iceberg here is going to go, screw this, I'm off. He'll flip long, we'll fly out the other side. Doesn't matter. The banks don't care. they're building a position here, right? And they will have a load of short on. All they've got to do is convert that entire short position into a long, and it will just release pressure. They will just make the money on the long. The banks can make money whichever way it goes. It doesn't make any difference to them whatsoever because they can push it wherever they want to. They're pushing it here, aren't they? They're saying, no, not coming through. At any point, they can just go, all right, you can come through. And if you're going to come through, we'll come with you. Be a bank. But so far, we're really struggling there. Dow, 1 hour again to the downside. So that's halfway to target. I kind of like the NASDAQ to give up the ghost for a bit, actually, because that will help the Dow drop as well. But very, very volatile. Just no direction, is it? It's been one of those mornings. I've had a good morning. Might get ruined in a minute, but we'll see. Sellers coming back in the Dow, yep. What would be lovely would be for this to hold for the next 10 minutes or so, the Dow to drop down to target, hit TP, break even, and then that to break. That will then fly up there. That will fly up there. So that'll be profit. That will have hit target. And that can just be shut. Profit for the day. Done. Walk away. My ideal scenario today. Battered again on the Dow. Look, lower low, lower high. Bearish candle. On the NASDAQ, sorry. Struggling really hard on the NASDAQ there. Just like this morning's DAX. Except there was no volume this morning, was there? There was no liquidity. The candles were jumping all over the place like that because they were trying to find some liquid. It's just, it's empty this morning, wasn't it? It's just no volume at all. Until that 2 hours, and then it suddenly took off. Afternoon, Neo. Got a valuable topic for debate today. Oh, okay. What supermarket has a superior meal deal? Marks and Spencer's, always. Okay, NASDAQ's giving up the ghost. It's unfortunate. Yeah, Marks and Spencer's, always for meal deals. Dixie literally just standing still. Yeah, everything's just standing still. We're stuck again. I just still feel like a broken record. I keep saying it all the time. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck. That's all I ever seem to say. We're stuck. Holy crap, this is going mental. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck. That's all we're getting, isn't it? It's what we had in December. I'm not doing anything. No, I'm still not doing anything. You just get a move and then it stops. Then it moves. Then it stops. No, it's just... Market's just not flowing at the moment. Look at this NASDAQ again. You've got a whacking great batch of buyers here. You've got a whacking great batch of sellers here. That's the price action. Huge volumes coming in, but totally equal buys and sells, isn't it? Just not getting anywhere. The banks will be making a lot of money. All they're doing is they're exchanging money, aren't they? There's a tick in the middle, and all they're doing is, I'll buy this. If you sell that one to me, all right, I make money. Move up, I'll sell this one. If you buy it from me, move down, I make money. Move up, move down, move up, move down. Make money, make money, make money, make money. We all sit here going, what? Can't do anything against these HFT algorithms that just spewing millions into the market, making money and not actually doing anything. It'll break in a minute, but right now we're stuck. So, excuse me, still got my cough. I still feel very compelled to intervene on SIH, forcing myself not to. Force yourself not to. Set yourself a little rule. Yeah. Breaking short on the S&P and the NASDAQ. Sellers have won by the looks of things. which is unfortunate because that means I'm going to hedge the NASDAQ. But as long as the Dow runs with the other indices today, the Dow will hit target. So it won't be a whitewash, but saying that, this propulsion gap's holding at the minute. The initial orders that came in today, but that high is going to be very hard to break. You got to look at it and go, right, we've tried 7 times. This is 8. Was it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the 8th attempt. Someone ain't letting that through, are they? It's going to take a hell of a lot of buying pressure to get through that level. Just not making it through, are we? Yeah, so for example, I like to close the Dow in profit. There's nothing wrong with closing something in profit. That's good. But set yourself a little rule. There's a little line drawn on the chart. Look here. Yeah, that line is 1.5 hours into the session. Yeah, it's the magic line. When we get to that line, we will have found the high or the low of the day with 95% accuracy. Yeah, I can assure you that when we get to that line, either that is the high or wherever we are there, that is the low. One of those two conditions will be true. The chances of moving up to above that line and below that line are 5%, roughly. But if you don't touch it, if you get hedged and you don't touch it until we're past that line, once we get past that line, as the DAX this morning, if the market's going to make a move, it will make a move after it gets past that line and it will go. That's when you can say, right, we're off. So until you get to that, let the EA trade. Either let it hit its target. I mean, if it's like that far away from your TP and it's bounced and then it comes down and it's that far away from your TP and it starts bouncing again, shut it. I do that all the time, don't I? It's to our target, I'll take 1.5. Take the money. But if it's just trading like it is at the moment, let it continue trading. See if it can hit its TP. If it comes up and sits in here and then it comes down here and it does this, or it comes up here and it hedges you, whatever it does in that first 1.5 hours, let it play out. Yeah. After that hour and a half is in, you've now got time to relax into the market and see where you think it's going to go. If it's going to go. If it's not going to go, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you shut everything out at 1 hour, you're going to find it difficult to pay for the hedges. This is a portfolio approach. Yeah. Look at this morning. The DAX, couldn't make the DAX work. The FTSE flew. The FTSE paid for the DAX and banked me a profit. All 3 of these, I'm looking at this as a portfolio. At the moment, I'm 0.2% negative. If that gets to 0.75 positive, I can shut the lot out and walk away. It's all 3 together, not individuals. These 2 move together. This one does whatever the hell it likes. It's got a life of its own, which is why it works, because we've got divergence across the instruments. Let's have another go, look. So this propulsion gap is holding. So the buyers that started that move have added straight into the iceberg again. Right old battle, this. It's fun to watch, isn't it? It's like a sport. Who do you reckon is going to win, red or green? They'll hit the reverse button. That Dixie literally standing still. Yeah, they'll do something with it in a minute. M&S only if the DAX treats me well. Oh, yes. It might be more expensive, but it's still a deal. They get some really good deals, actually, with meals and bottles of Prosecco. So Dow and NAS usually go in opposite directions. They do different a lot of the time. If I zoom out on these, oh, that's in. This is triple topping. This is trying to push up. This has come down not pretty much non-stop. You'll find you'll get a down day on this when you get an up day on this, and this will put in a doji. Yeah, they all do different things, but overall the price action tends to be quite similar across all three most of the time. However, the Dow, because it's only got 30 stocks in, it only takes 1 or 2 stocks in this to make a massive difference in directional bias and movement. 1 or 2 stocks in the S&P out of 500 makes no difference at all. 1 or 2 stocks in the NASDAQ out of 100 makes a little bit more of a difference. But this is why the Dow has its own life and directional bias, because there's only 30 stocks there. If 3 of the top stocks all suddenly get bad earnings coming out within the same sort of 48-hour period, this thing's going to come down. Whereas you might find Google's released positive news and these will fly up, because a lot of the stocks in here supply the tech industry. This is why they tend to be sector purchases tend to work across those two. Dow less so. There's very different stocks in the Dow, which is why it has a little bit of a different movement. But if sectors of stocks are what is moving the market rather than individual stocks, they will all usually do the same thing. Look, they're all pushing at the moment together. The distance they'll all push will be very, very different, but they are all going green at the same time. They will all go red at the same time, yeah? Went red, went red, went red, gone green, gone green, gone green. However, that could go red while these two go green. That NASDAQ goes, I'll be cross with the Dow. Stuck again. A couple more RSIs just ticked in there. CAD Swiss hourly just got above the 70 level again. So had a strong pullback there. Just highs again. That's about to trigger ADR as well, CAD Swiss, if it hasn't already. Must have already done it. There we go, CAD Swiss ADR. And US dollar Swiss, that's just got up there again. So that's divergence, look. Got negative RSI, positive price action. That's bearish divergence. I haven't managed to bank anything today. I hardly banked anything yesterday. I'm just struggling to bank at the minute. I'm really struggling to bank at the moment. These are ADR reversals, aren't they? I'm going to close out the pound CAD. I'm going to close out the Aussie CAD. It says it just starts to push up. I'm just closing the two out together because it's 0.25%. Banking 0.25% at the moment is a bit of a luxury because nothing's moving much, is it? So I'm just trying to get stuff banked, basically. Hedge is pound odd. We just had a reversal alert on that and big rejection off of that news. So I still think that can get down there. I'm just going to move that TP up just to that propulsion low. Still, I'm going to hold that. But again, I can bank nearly 0.5% there on those three. Just stuck in it. This is what we're getting. We're getting like this for 3 or 4 days. A move. Couple of days of nothing. 1 day up. News. It's just a horrible, horrible market. NAS has rejected the long again. This time the sellers are very angry and have pushed them right back down to the pre-market lows. So hedge on the NASDAQ. Dow's pushing. So hedged on the NAS. God, what a crap open. This is going to hedge as well. This is going to be a triple hedge again today. Market is just useless at the moment. Useless. IPTA torture. IPTA, I puke dirty anchovies. That could be what IPTA stands for. Might as well be. Sort of like cheese rolling. Dangerous. Don't like how the Dow is going. Nope. Don't like how the Dow is going. Don't like how anything's going, to be honest. It's all a load of crap. Do you find registering as a sole trader or limited company better for trading? Ask your accountant. Depends on your tax status. I'm not an accountant. I have an accountant. So you need to talk to them. It depends on your earnings and how you earn money as to how you should register yourself. There's not much point in registering as a limited company because you don't need limited liability because you haven't got any customers. There's no tax advantage to being a director and drawing dividends because dividends get taxed at the same rate as a higher rate. So if you get taxed on company profit at 40% or you get taxed on higher rate earnings at 40%, it's the same thing. There's very little advantage, I don't think, to limited company. So, but talk to your accountant. If you run a business, it might be different. And if you are employed, again, it's going to be different because it's all down to your own individual circumstances. If you own rental properties, you're going to have a very different tax status. So you need to contact someone. This should be fun. Hi all. Hope your day is going good. I'm new. I was wondering if there's any executive here I can talk with. Come on, Mr. Scammer. Bring it on. Mr. DeFi. Let's see what he's got to say. I'll pop him over there for a minute because he's probably in the stream now and he knows I'm onto him. Depends on your level of income, yeah. Jimmy, I'm an accountant in the UK. There you go. Jimmy, meet Outro. Outro, meet Jimmy. Talk to each other. Basically, if you make yourself a limited company, there are advantages to being limited because if you're a limited company, you can store the profit you make in your limited company, and then you can draw out a percentage of it for the rest of your life, kind of like a pension fund. There's all sorts of things you can do with it, but everyone's going to be different. You get just tagged me into this short, and now it's pushing again. This thing's just stuck. Again, what we were talking about earlier, I'm thinking of shutting these shorts because I think this is going to have another run. However, if it doesn't, I'm screwed. So the decision shouldn't be made here because we haven't got anywhere yet. Yeah, give it a time to reveal its hand. The market doesn't know where it's going yet. Wait for it to break in one direction or another. Once it's broken, then we can look for areas we're going to find bounces at. Don't forget, we're only looking to find an area that it'll bounce from. We're not looking for anything that has got to go to a certain level. We're looking for it to bounce at some point that we can get out. Short's still better for me because at least then I'm going to get profit, clear profit on the Dow, which will pay for the hedges, but totally stuck. Aussie dollar Swiss is still rallying. Here we go. Mr. DeFi, entrepreneur, analyst, and investor, founder of Simple Profit, Investo24. Okay. Yes, you look like a knob. Hope you're in the stream. You look like a knob. Here comes the banhammer. Bye-bye, Mr. DeFi. I get about 100 of those a week. Not quite that many. Jimmy, if I'm already registered as a sole trader for my job, would I be able to put my trading profits and expenses through? You knob. In Germany, they set up a weird law for private individuals. You can only offset 20,000 euros per annum. So if you make 100,000 and lose 60,000, you have to pay taxes not on 40,000 real profits, but on 80,000. So you need a limited company. Yeah. As I said, speak to everybody's going to be different. Every country's different. You need to talk to an expert like Jimmy. He hasn't met John yet. Bloody hell. Look at this thing. Right. We are 40 minutes into the session and we have not gone anywhere at all on the NASDAQ. The S&P, we've gone that far. The Dow, we've gone that far. This market has absolutely no directional bias whatsoever at the open. We are still just battling to find any kind of speculative traders that want to take this in any direction today. So there's no point in making any decisions on this at the moment. So the hedges, if this NASDAQ breaks to the upside, it's going to be quite tricky today because actually it's not that tricky. Not that tricky at all. It's easy. That's where I will get out of the NASDAQ longs. So if we break through here, I'll be looking to exit up there and get out on a pullback. Basically, we're going to find some limit orders triggering at that level in a similar way to that level triggered. We will get a pullback at least from it, usually. So that would be my upside target. That's very tight. So we're looking at just under 3 ADR. Yeah, so that would be my target to the upside, 3 ADR. Downside, I mean, it's rallied so hard. The chances of it getting all the way back down here are just, unless it rejects this level again, in which case then the sellers might open up the floodgates. So I'm just going to leave that 5R for the minute. Dow, hedged. Upside target yesterday's high. Sorry, yeah, yesterday's high. So just under yesterday's high, we should get some limits trigger up there. Downside target. So we've got these lows coming up here. This is a double bottom. So that's 37.83. 3.5 bar. Three R. 3R to the downside. So literally just support resistance is all I'm looking at. Nothing clever. I'm getting out where we bought it from twice there. No reason why we won't do it again. S&P. Upside target. Previous day's high. We've got yesterday's high as well, haven't we? That's a bit close. So I'm going to go with previous day's high, which is ADR today to the upside. If we rally to the upside, downside is yesterday's low, which is pretty much there anyway. So that's 5R ADR. So I need an ADR move out the S&P. Other than that, it's a whitewash today. This market is an absolute waste of time. It's just a mess. So I will give it however long it needs to figure out what the hell it wants to do today, and then see if it wants to move anywhere. If it doesn't want to move anywhere, there's absolutely nothing you can do. So much better to sit here in 1R times 3, locked in as a loss, than sit here and try and go long, short, long, short, long, short all day and just lose your entire account. So sit, wait for it to play its hand. If it isn't going to play a hand, you can't play. You're going to get days like this where you just can't do anything. If it is going to make a move, let it make a move. Wait for it. So I'm just going to watch and monitor it, see what price action does. There's a couple of little areas coming up. We've got this area here to the downside on the S&P. We might get a bounce out of. We've got yesterday's high. We might get a bounce out of. So you could look at those, look at price action when you get there. If you need to re-hedge, you can always re-hedge, obviously. But if you get out the longs there, it will place the pending orders. And if it does push up a little bit further and then decide to go, you're still going to get out fine, aren't you? So I've got out of all of the hedges so far that this has happened. We've had a couple of instances this month where we've had triple hedges. Got out of all of them, no problem. So just wait. We've got this high from pre-market today, and obviously the low of the day. The low of the day is yesterday's low, so that's a bit tight. Might get a double bottom off of it. You might get a double top off of the pre-market. However, yesterday's high should find some volume. NASDAQ is a lot more tricky. If it breaks this high and it does manage to get through here, it's like taking a run up at the moment. Very hard to pick an upside. You got that last month high, and if that last month high fails, there's nothing. We're all time high, aren't we? Downside, I'm just looking at where we started today. We pushed down at the open, pushed up again. So I'm just looking for this, which is ADR. We've got a lovely bottom here that we've bought up from. We then got stuck and couldn't get through it. We then broke through it, tested it again, and off. So this area is a lovely support resistance, and it's also the average daily range where we start to get exhausted. So logical targets, but it's got to move in it. So if it doesn't move, it doesn't move. Pound Swiss ADR, still got that Swiss franc weakness on. This US dollar's rallying, look. Sorry, US dollar's dropping. Euro's rallying against the US dollar. That's why the market is now rallying back up. The US dollar's coming down. The market does the opposite to the US. So pound Swiss, we just got an ADR hit on as well. Big push to the upside, 5 minutes. Wait for a reversal. Not particularly great level that. We're up at a monthly high. Sorry, no, it's not even a monthly high. That's an old monthly low, I think, isn't it? Yeah, 2-month low. It's not a valid level. We've we've used it. We've abused it. It's gone through. So if this is breaking now, we're out of this high. Potentially, we're looking to come and retest the triple top here, which is 225 ADR. So I've got one short on from yesterday. I'll be taking a second on this if it rallies any further today. I need 30, 45. So I need it to be above 125 ADR. So if we get above 125 ADR today, I'll be getting in on the next reversal short average in for a drop back down into propulsion. Tough day again. Can't make its mind up, can it? 15-minute Dixie still consolidating, is it? Yeah, it is. Not going anywhere, is it? Look. The euro US dollar is the inverse of the Dixie dollar index. So whatever dollar index is doing, euro US dollar does the exact opposite. So you can use this as an indicator for strength on the US dollar. The euro gets pushed around by the US dollar when the US dollar moves, especially in the afternoon session. So this will do exactly the opposite of the Dixie. As you can see, absolutely nothing. We're stuck. Yeah, this shows you the correlation, how the market. This is why you have to watch all elements of the market. You need to know, you need to see what is going on with all instruments. Whenever I'm looking at something and something's pushing, like someone said, the pound Swiss is pushing. So I go, right, pound Swiss is pushing. So is the Aussie Swiss. So is the Euro Swiss. Yeah, so that tells me that the Swiss franc is dropping. So you're looking at the correlation between everything. The euro US dollar, if that's going absolutely nowhere, the stock indexes are going to go absolutely nowhere. They're priced in US dollars. If the US dollar doesn't move, the stock market doesn't. What do you buy stocks with? Dollars. What do you need? Dollars. You pull money out the dollars, you put it in the stock market. Dollar drops, stocks go up. It's all correlated. Everything moves as one thing because you've got a cross. If one thing's got to move, the other thing has to move with it. There's a buy and there's a sell. There's a pulling out of something into something. Whenever there's a war kicking off, the Swiss franc goes through the roof. The yen goes through the roof. What happens to everything else? It comes down. Why? Because you're pulling it out of here and you're pushing it into there. Everything's fluid. There's only a limited amount of money in the world. We're watching the movement of it. So everything's always moving with everything else. Apart from this, which is just moving nowhere. Right, I've got nothing else to talk about. I can't bear to watch this anymore. It's driving me out the wall. So I'm going to sit here and wait. I'll post in Telegram if I see anything of any interest. To be honest, I'm very happy with the levels I've got set. I don't think there's going to be a very easy way out of any of this today. So unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a down day, which will be my first for a while. But I'm going to have to take a 2% loss today at the moment. But the day is not over. And I'm up 0.5%, so I'm only going to lose 1.5 today. So not the end of the world, is it? So that's all I've got for you today, really. Struggling to bank anything because everything's kind of either squeezing slightly at the moment. We're waiting for some inverse action, some pullbacks to be underway, or it's just going sideways. So up 2% on hedging, up 1.5 on ADRs, and up 3 on H1M5 at the moment. So month's doing all right. Just very much like pulling teeth this month, isn't it? Anyway, so if you need anything, let me know in Telegram. Other than that, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50, same time. News-wise, just to make you aware, we've got retail sales tomorrow morning before I come on tomorrow morning at 7:50 for the Frankfurt session. So pay attention to retail sales for the pound. Again, love to see that come out as a negative 0.6 or negative 0.7, because all of that movement we've had on the pound will just go. And I don't think it's real, that move off of the numbers this week. So yeah, would love to see negative retail tomorrow. Other than that, we've got University of Michigan in the afternoon and a load of crap sprinkled in between. So Michigan quite often will move the market, which we got tomorrow afternoon, and then it's the pound. Retail at 7 o'clock. So that's before market open. So should hopefully be a normal open tomorrow. All right. So anything you need, let me know. Other than that, see you tomorrow for Frankfurt or US or both. Have a good afternoon.